This is more for the guys with M1 and when we talk about rebalancing. So again, for this
By the way, it's sick entry on this.
Yeah. So this whole example is for these three trades kind of combined: Amazon, Shopify, and Etsy. I have all these names in M1. I have about 10 names in my Roth as well as my SEP, and I continuously add to the SEP. I can't contribute to the Roth, but as I can add to the SEP, I continue to buy these names. And when they get extended, I'll start to take some profits and lower the allocation when they get extended. So Amazon was a great example. We were adding to Amazon for quite some time. We had this really nice move back to these all-time highs, but it just got there too quick, too fast, and it just wasn't really expecting this breakout. So for me, it was time to lower that allocation. So say I had a 10% allocation in Amazon, it was lowering it down to 7%. So selling some, taking the proceeds, and then moving it to Etsy. So this one I was taking some profits in. Next one was Shopify.
Yep. Got it.
And this was really more the one that started or initiated my thought to start taking some profits in these two names and moving it elsewhere. And more for Shopify was that it's up basically 50% in a month. Amazon was only up about 10 or 15% from the entry. Wasn't up too much, but for Shopify, it was up almost 50% this month, and you kind of have to expect to take some profits in this name. So Shopify, again, retested the prior all-time high. Again, pushed through it a little bit as new traders tend to chase that prior high, but they don't really have much momentum to push it through. So that's where I took, again, lowered the allocation in Shopify, lowered the allocation in Amazon, and rotated those proceeds back into Etsy, which was a name that we were keeping an eye on. Shake, if you want to scroll over to Etsy.
Got it. Etsy's ripping. God.
Yeah, so we saw, again, in Amazon and Shopify, both those names were getting up near resistance, major resistance. Shop was retesting their prior high. Amazon was getting up to their prior all-time high for the third or fourth time. And Etsy was near support. So in those two names, I was lowering the allocation, realizing some profits, and taking the proceeds and putting them back to work in Etsy. That was closer to support. And now in Etsy, if it continues the trend that it's been on and it can work its way back up to the 240, 250 area, I'll repeat that same thing I was doing with Shopify. I'll start to take some of the proceeds out of Etsy, and I'll see what is setting up in the basket of stocks that I have in my SEP, my Roth, and I'll reallocate those funds to the next name. So I'm constantly trying to buy up off of support, selling into those major areas of resistance, and I'm locking in profits and taking the proceeds and putting them back into the names that are setting up closer to support. And that's the game of rebalancing that we want to get into when we're using services like M1. So those were a few of my main trades for the past week.